To Wave Listens Live, I'm Michael Vanover filling in for John today, and I'm joined now by a familiar face to the program, attorney Jim Desmond. Jim, how are you?
Hey, Michael. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming back on today. We appreciate it.
Yep.
So it's Valentine's. It's winter time. The roads, you know, we've had a lot of snow this winter, a lot of ice. They've been a little extra treacherous. Talk about how important it is for people to be safe when they're out on the roads.
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's kind of funny to be here on Valentine's, and I don't mean to bring people to the idea of a bad car wreck on the day you're supposed to think about romance. But, you know, holidays, I mean, car wrecks don't take holidays. Everybody else does. You know, and that's kind of one of the reasons I kind of push the idea of the cell phone, is that you can get hold of me if a car wreck happens even on a holiday. Because, yeah, we've had a bad winter. We've had one where I think, again, I've seen more people uninsured because of COVID. I've also seen, you know, with the weather alone being a little crazy, more than average accidents. So, again, I want people to be able to reach me, and the fact that it's a holiday, I mean, my family and friends have gotten used to the fact that I step out from restaurants and everything else to talk to people, you know, when they call.
Well, I think when they call, they need you. You know, it's a moment, and sometimes it can be traumatic. It can be an urgent matter if they were just in an accident or they need to talk to their attorney. And so I think your family and friends, as you said, they understand that the person on the other end of the phone may need you in that moment.
And, you know, it's funny because I don't think as many times as I've been on here, I think sometimes I fail to say to people, you know, my deal with the cell phone is not a slogan that an advertising agency came up with. I've done that for 17 years, okay? It's not one of these things that, and I'm going to get myself in trouble with other firms like I always love to. It's not some silly dance, some silly song, or some silly, you know, slogan you're supposed to remember, okay, you know, or calling myself some stupid name, excuse my French, okay? But it is, you know, something that I've done for 17 years, and it's what attorneys should be doing. You know, I'll say this real quick, and I've had a lot of people since I've started to do your show and Wave 3 in general say, hey, I've seen your ad, but it's nice. They're not just stopping there. They're saying, I've seen your ad and I like what you're saying, because I think in general a lot of people in the Louisville community and Kentucky in general are tired of personal injury attorneys trying to catch your attention with this silly stuff rather than saying, hey, look, I need some solid legal advice, and that's what we're trying to sell at Desmond Law Office. We're trying to say, you can reach me directly. I may or may not be able to help you. But, you know, we're here, whether it's a holiday or not.
Well, I think it's important, too. A lot of times people anymore are used to, when they call somebody, forget which type of business it is, they don't actually sometimes talk to a real person, or at least talk to the person that they want to talk to.
Oh my God,
in your case, they speak to you and you directly.
Absolutely. I mean, and what you just said, I mean, that's so many people call me and say they were trying to deal with, you know, the car accident without dealing with a personal injury attorney. But again, you try to get an insurance company on the phone, and it's impossible sometimes. And yeah, they deal with me directly. Why shouldn't they? Because one, I'm not hard sell. If anybody hard sells me, I walk away. Okay, you know me well enough to know that. So instead, give them 10 minutes worth of information. Make sure that, you know, they figure out, do they want to hire somebody? And if they don't, let's get them on the right track. And many of the times I hear from those people 60 or 90 days later, and that's fine. It's like, you know, they say, okay, now we tried to do something and we couldn't do it. They call me and say, let's go with it.
Well, I think that leads me to something else. You know, by the way, the number you see on the screen, 609-7657, is your cell phone.
That's been my cell phone for 17 years. That has been on the web, you know. And you would think it would be crazy, but I wish other attorneys would do it more so. Some good attorneys do, but they don't advertise.
Reachable, yeah. But one of the things I think is interesting, there are people watching right now that may be thinking, do I have a case? Or I don't want to bother Attorney Desmond with this. You've always been the type of guy that, just call me.
Right.
You know, you'll give us some advice. You'll walk them through it, and if they have a case, great. If they don't, you still don't mind helping people.
Well, and even if they have a case, some people don't want to pursue it, and that's fine. But again, let's give them the right advice. Because I hate to say this, I hear so much. My clients do see this side where I'm a little arrogant, because they'll hear from an insurance adjuster will tell them one thing. Their friends will say, well, this happened when they were in a car accident. I'm like, if they become my client, I say, no offense to everybody else, ignore them. I know what I'm doing. I've done this 20 plus years, okay? Because you get so much bad information, and that's, again, why give me, 10 minutes to talk to you. That's why I use a text, and such like that. Somebody texted me this morning. They wanted to know my fee agreement, okay? Sent it over to them by text, my other information. I said, hey, you want to talk more, feel free. I would like to talk to them, and I can indicate that in text just to give them some information. Because, again, they can decide what they want to do or not do with it. But I don't want them to get bad information and then we go down the road.
And I think it's important, too. This is something that, other attorneys maybe have marketed, but it's of course, the same for you. People that are thinking about calling you, maybe they have a case, maybe they don't, maybe they're in an accident this morning, whatever the case is, they don't have to pay you until the settlement happens. Right? Will you talk about that a little bit?
Well, okay. Can I badmouth another firm? Come on.
No names.
No names. One of the big firms is now advertising that, okay, no fee, no recovery. We've done that for 15 plus years. Any good personal injury attorney has done that in Louisville, okay? You don't go to somebody who in a personal injury field in a car accident and say, okay, you're going to owe me something if we don't get anywhere down the road. That's just crazy. Okay. We've also, so that's the first thing. I've always done that. Second thing is actually on Facebook, I have a video now where I just took something I've been doing for years and I put it in formal writing, where now my fee agreement says, and not only that, but if the case doesn't involve a lawsuit, I have a written policy that my attorney's fee won't be more than my client's net settlement. Basically, I'm not going to walk away with more than my client does in their pocket, because I need an incentive to lower medical bills, lower costs, whatever I can to make my client a little bit happier. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
You know, and but any good personal injury attorney, those two policies, that shouldn't be just me. That should be anybody in town, and any of these big firms should be doing the same thing.
And other attorneys, their fee may be different than yours, correct? I mean, percentage-wise.
Most firms charge 40% pre-litigation. I charge 1/3, 33 1/3.
Okay, so there you go. So 7% off the top.
Yeah, and I've always done that, and then I reserve the right. I won't lower my fee up front, but I'll reserve the right to do it sometimes down the road. It depends. Case doesn't go where we want it to, or you know. If a client has a $3,800 settlement, I might make it so it's $4,000 because I want them to walk down the road and say, hey, I did better than they don't. People round. I want them to round up, not down.
Yeah, right.
So.
One thing I find interesting about you, Jim, is when I talk to businesses, you know, on the show or just in general, and you ask what people do, specifically in their category of business, they a lot of times they have a laundry list of answers. For you, it's one thing. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I only do car wrecks because I'm a one-man show. I don't have paralegals. I don't have secretaries. I do it all myself. I have a bunch of friends over the 20 years that if something else comes up, I can pull them in as co-counsel. If it's a different kind of case, I can give you names of people that I like. But yeah, I'm very much aware of the fact that I have a certain area that I like to concentrate on, and because of that, I'm not also going to bring in a bunch of staff and let them deal with my clients. Now, if it grows to that level, we get to that point, I thought about that. You know what? My staff can have cell phones too. We don't care.
That's right.
It's a policy. It's a design to be customer service, and that's what we're going to do. So yeah, it's just me, and my client deals with me directly, and I love it that way.
Jim, appreciate you coming on the show today. Great getting this message out, by the way. I saw your ad in the Super Bowl last night. It looked awesome. So,
thank you.
So you know, I think getting this message out is a big deal. You can see the website right there, attorneydesmond.com. Again, that number 502-609-7657 is your cell phone.
It is my cell phone.
That's not a joke.
It'll be there for 30 more years.
So if you want to reach Jim, you know how to get a hold of him, right?
Sounds good.
All right, Jim Desmond, thank you for being in here today. Appreciate it.
Michael, always appreciate it.
All
Take
right,
care.
thanks. All right.